Okay, so we know that the FIFA Men's World Cup is a money-making machine. But how much money do the women's teams in their tournament really make? The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup is expected to cross 2 billion views, double from the 2019 tournament. And FIFA expects to earn at least $807 million from ticket sales, TV broadcasting, licensing rights, and all their other endeavors. But you're probably wondering, do all the 32 teams at the FIFA Women's World Cup actually walk away with anything substantial? Let's break down some more numbers for you and how they compare to years past. The prize money for each game right now is at $152 million, 5 times the amount that was given in 2019, which was around $30 million, which itself was double the amount that was given in the previous 2015 World Cup. As teams advance from one round to the next, so does the money. Making it to the round of 16 guarantees $1.87 million. Quarterfinals, it's $2.18 million. Third and fourth place teams get around $2.5 million each. And it's reported that the winner of the World Cup is estimated to collect a whopping $4.3 million, with the runner-up earning over $3 million for their federation. But just take a moment and compare that to Argentina, which won $42 million last year for their federation when they won the whole thing. Hopefully that gives you some perspective on all this. But it's also important to note that while each team makes a certain amount of money, together there's this prize pool of money that's also distributed equally among each player, depending on how far your team goes. So for example, in the group stage, each player makes $30,000, which also progressively increases the further the team advances, with each player on the championship team making $270,000. But with all this being said, the money earned by the players at the Women's World Cup still lags far behind that of the men's. It's just 25 cents for every dollar earned by the men, according to CNN. And when you compare the bottom of the pile, so the last place teams, the last place men's team earned $9 million, while the last place women's team earned $1.6 million. But the important thing with all of this being that FIFA did earn a record-breaking revenue of $7.5 billion during the 4 years of commercial deals that were tied with the 2022 Men's World Cup in Qatar. And the Women's World Cup just doesn't come close to those kinds of numbers right now. Even if you want a more even comparison, take a look at sponsorships. According to analytical firm Omdia, sponsorship revenue generated by the 2023 Women's World Cup is estimated at around $300 million. But that's still significantly less than the $1.7 billion in sponsorships that the recent men's tournament got. That means that the men's tournament made little under 6x the sponsorships in comparison to the women's tournament. But not all players are okay with the difference in pay that results from these kinds of numbers. Megan Rapinoe from the US Women's National Team was asked about the increase in pay for this year's tournament and said this: "It certainly is not fair. We should double it now and use that number to double it or quadruple it for the next time." But the difference in pay isn't actually that bad, especially if you think about it from a business perspective. It makes sense how the pay breakdown is directly correlated with the revenue expectations from the two different tournaments. I mean, FIFA is a business after all. And according to that same analytical firm, the Women's World Cup this year is by far the most valuable women's sports competition to exist in the world. And FIFA's president back in March said that they hope for equality in payments for the 2026 Men's and 2027 Women's World Cups. With revenue and viewership numbers jumping like how they've been over the last few tournaments, these athletes are quickly closing that gap. But equal payments seems like a far-fetched promise that they might not be able to keep. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more we can cover, including interesting tax implications by FIFA that have affected player prize money. That's a massive video in itself. So if you want to see that, subscribe.